Who in the world has a giant tower with their face plastered all over it? I mean, who in the world has that kind of an ego? I mean, seriously, Duma, come on!
Hello everyone and welcome to a Retired Review. Today we're looking at set number 8758, Tower of Toa. The set was released in 2005, contains approximately 401 pieces, and during time of release was approximately $50 at retail. Alright, here we are with, oh boy, it's got one of the masks. Oh, I'm excited for this one. Now, to preface, I would like to stress that this review is entirely my opinion, unlike the recap reviews where I had a plethora of community thoughts and opinions and viewpoints and perspectives. The system sets didn't get a whole lot of that, and what little there was, I simply cannot remember. As such, these reviews are entirely subjective and my personal opinion. You are more than welcome and encouraged to disagree and discuss in the comments below. I'm always interested in conversation. So let's go ahead and get into this. Now, obviously enough, this is a tall structure. While building it, it's a tad unusual because the instructions are from 2005 and instruction quality has just exponentially increased since then. It felt more like spot the difference than an actual instruction booklet. This is something you're going to hear me say probably until the end of 2005 system set reviews. Now, as far as the build is concerned, with the instructions aside, it's fine. I didn't despise it like I did the Vizirax Gate. It's a little clunky, it's a little blocky right in here, and it doesn't look like a natural build or a well-built building, I suppose one might say. But nothing about it agitated me. It was not this offensive construction. Now, as far as continuing on the overall look, some things do seem a tad slapped on, mainly up here. As we can see, these blades and even the Pohatu Nuva claws, they just seemed kind of shoved on for no real reason. Same with these white spikes over here. They seem a tad nonsensical, but I digress. It's a very minor grievance. As far as the mask is concerned, it's also fine. It's kind of interesting, kind of unique. I don't necessarily mind it. It does kind of stick out a tad. It's not a natural look, but I think it's a fun novelty. Obviously enough, it is a Kanohi, well, it's either a Pakuhi or Krill, depending on which person you're talking about wearing it. But it's fine, it's faithful to the actual mask, and I think it is a neat novelty. One thing I do not like about this is the stickers. The stickers are quite peculiar, especially if you're trying to follow the instructions. They're very difficult to get right. You have to be very careful which ones you're placing where. I'm not a big fan of that. I don't like the fact that there are stickers on it. It makes cleaning it very difficult. Not a fan of that by any stretch of the imagination, especially being a standard Bionicle fan who's accustomed to little to no stickers. Like in Generation 1, it was Tuma, and in Generation 2, it was maybe 4 sets total out of about 36. So, it's not exactly something I enjoy. Now, as far as functionality is concerned, there are a few things, actually. Let me go ahead and move these guys out of the way. There you go. And you guys too. Now, we do have a few things, particularly on the sides. These do come off. So you can actually put these in different places. You can either put this one over there, or vice versa. In a very similar sense to a modular. On the back here, we also do have this kind of rock thrower here. I like this function. It's fun. It's well built, but unfortunately, it doesn't work that great. One more time. No. It's a very fun design. It was enjoyable to build, but it really doesn't work as I'm sure many would want it to. Now, something that works quite reliably would be right in here. As we can see here, we have one of the you'd recognize this for an Exo Toa blaster. You can see that right in there. And these, of course, work flawlessly. You have this little axle back here. Pull that. Come on. There you go. And, of course, those work just fine. Now, one issue I did run into with this is that when I want it to kind of go back in, it has a little bit of trouble doing that. Sometimes it'll fire rather obnoxiously when I don't want it to, because it has this function where it goes in and out. So it can kind of recess, and it comes out and pew pew. So not all that big of a fan of how it is displayed, but when you want it to work, it works fine. When it comes to play, hypothetically, if this is a play set that you want to get maybe for your kid who's a fan, or for yourself just for fun, it's a fine play set. You can put the Toa on either of these areas right there. Hey me, how's about you stop hitting the camera? There you go. Okay, well that guy has to go back there. But all the Toa fit fine. You can place them as you would any of these Toa figures. It's not that big of a deal. It works just fine. As far as the back is concerned, it is quite lackluster. There's a lot left to be desired. It's quite open. There's a lot of space right here that I can't imagine anyone actually using up. I suppose, let's say hypothetically you have the Visorak take over. You can put this guy back there. However, it's a tad unseemly from behind. So usually you're going to want to have it displayed just like so. On to a few things I really do like. I am quite the fan of these recolored blazer claws. I really enjoy having recolors, especially for a weapon like this. This time, instead of it being dark red, it's black, and I think it looks really cool. I'm sure a lot of mockists would enjoy having a piece like this. One of the other things I really do like about this set would be this, the Kagarak. I believe that's accurate. It'd be embarrassing if it wasn't. Now, the build itself is nothing really to write home about. It's quite empty. It doesn't look complete. However, I'm quite partial, as I just mentioned, to recolors. And here we have a new recolor. It is a Krakan in gold. Now, there are actually two variants of this. There is the gold that you see here, which is the old gold, which would be from 2003 to 2005. However, in some production models of this set, you can find this in pearl gold. That's because during production, of course, they switched over for 2006 to the new pearl gold, and so you do have these in dark and bright pearl gold. I think that's neat. I really like that. As far as the actual build itself, again, it's nothing that special. It does have a function where it can flip up. You can just kind of press it like so and send the rocket flying. So it works fine. It is basically just fine. Of course, like the other System 2005 sets, you do have all 6 variants of Visorak in minifigure form. Of course, you do get 8 Visorak total. You get 2 extras. I believe it's a extra Sukarak and Onorak. I believe that's accurate. And of course, they are melded. They are black, along with glow-in-the-dark features. As far as the Toa, you do get all 6 Toa. Now, as far as minifigures are concerned, these are basically chess pieces. They have no playability whatsoever. They will, of course, stand on any studded surface. However, they're not interesting in any regard. Now, the weapons themselves are canonical. However, they're just an unusual departure from the actual canister set. It's peculiar, but it's not a big deal to me. At the end of the day, Tower of Toa is fine. It's not a great set, especially by today's standards. However, it isn't anything horrendous. I wouldn't call it anywhere near the top of the System 2005 Bionicle sets. It's definitely closer toward the bottom. It's a tall, imposing structure, and the mask is a neat novelty. And while I like the Kagarak and the recolored pieces, the functions are, they try and they don't really succeed. They're lackluster. They're not all there. A lot of the weaponry and kind of ornaments on the structure itself seem kind of tacked on. The actual silhouette of the structure is bizarre and peculiar. The minifigures are not really all that great, and the color scheme is bland. It's not a visually striking that reaches out and grabs you and goes, yes, this looks interesting and entertaining. Oh, real briefly before I end, I would like to mention that is a Toa head in silver, which I thought was remarkably interesting, but I digress. Overall, it's fine. I don't personally recommend it. I would not have gone out to get this outside of doing this review. However, if you're really interested in having all the system sets, or just this one in specific, go ahead and get it, and I hope you enjoy. So overall, that has been my review of Tower of Toa. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you enjoy this set, that's perfectly fine. Let me know if you have it, and if you do like it, and why. I'm always interested to know what other people think about this set. And let me know if you enjoyed this video, and if you have any recommendations or suggestions, feel free to suggest them. I read all the comments, and I'm always open to conversation. So thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and join me next time when I go over another System Bionicle set. Thank you all, and have a great day.